up guys, Hiking here, bringing you a new video regarding Resident Evil 9. This is to do with the Road to Requiem video that we got. I thought I'd go through it and take out some parts and analyze it. So yeah, it's a bit late, but late than never. But I've had some personal things to go through and some other things as well. Life always getting in the way. And I'm honestly very tired now at this point, really. Like, just personal issues as well. It's just really annoying the way the world is going as well. It's like, god damn, why does everything have to get so complicated? Annoying. Yeah, like I said, just a lot of things getting in the way. It's just annoying. But yeah, I thought I'd do this very quick video. I hope it's a quick video. And yeah, before I begin, remember to like and subscribe, guys. And yeah, let me just get through it very quickly then. So yeah, let's do this. So first off the bat, when we had the video start, we got this a quick look at the Raccoon City map, and obviously they tried to, do a big emphasis on this. I'm assuming this is the map for the Resident Evil 3 remake, because I'm assuming the one for the original Resident Evil 3 is very different to the one they have for the Resident Evil 3 remake. But yeah, emphasis on the map for the Resident Evil 3 remake. A lot of these areas, obviously we know, Jack's Bar, obviously the gas station's over here, and then we got the restaurant that we went to and the substation. But there's an area specifically that's mentioned here that we never went to, and that is Raccoon High School. We never went to Raccoon High School in any other games. We didn't go to it in Resident Evil 3. We didn't go to it in Resident Evil 3 remake. Is this meant to be? I don't think it's because the one in Outbreak 1 was a university. This is a high school, so it wouldn't be the same place, and it's near all of these locations, especially the RPD. So, it's just interesting that they would highlight this. So, I'm assuming that this is an area that's coming back. Like, we're going to be going through a lot of familiar areas that are destroyed, half destroyed maybe, and then maybe some areas are still standing, perhaps. I don't know. Maybe we are going to go to the school. I don't know. Food for thought, just something to think about. But moving on, we got this crazy board here. So a lot of information here, a lot of specific details, like the survivors of Raccoon City and how it highlights specifically like the character names. Like we got Leon here, we got Jill here, and then of course Grace being our new protagonist here, and then we got Chris somewhere over here. He's mentioned here, I believe, Chris Redfield. So yeah, they're specifically naming certain characters, but then for example you've got Ada and Sherry here and they're not named. So yeah, again, food for thought. Just a close-up one. There's a specific detail here that I want to talk about, but I'm going to talk about it later on. But yeah, moving on. A lot of emphasis on Spencer. One of the things I want to point out, right, is that during this video she does mention Africa and how the progenitor virus, the progenitor virus came from Africa. I was going to make a future video basically before RE0 remake and Code Veronica remake were going to come out, and I was going to talk about whether or not Capcom would end up perhaps maybe changing the canon, and maybe for Resident Evil 5 remake changing the location perhaps. Like, I don't know, I just had this weird feeling they might do that. Maybe they would just take the opportunity to change the canon, but it's nice for them to reference Africa, because it means no, that is a dead set thing. Like, they're not going to change that. So obviously we're probably going to get references to Africa in Resident Evil 0 like we did in the original game, and obviously Code Veronica when it comes to the progenitor virus. So that's staying. That's in canon. That's staying. That's not changing anytime. So that's good. That's like, it's funny because that was something that I was sort of like worrying about. Like, would they do that? And then for this video to straight up start and her going into detail about that and mentioning that, it's like, okay, yeah, that's staying. That's not going anywhere anytime soon. Thank God. Moving on, again, the emphasis on Spencer. The amount of emphasis that they keep having on mentioning Spencer, like, something is up with that. Like, is our main villain Spencer? Or is he's obviously going to be an influence, but we'll go into it when we do. So yeah, moving on, we like I said, we had the board here, and it mentions specific survivors by name. And in the video, we get those specific mentions. Leon S. Kennedy, Claire Redfield, and Jill Valentine specifically. Other survivors like Ada, Sherry, and even Carlos are just shown, but they're not named. So it makes me wonder, obviously these are the main characters, but Ada is sort of like our main character as well. I mean, she's there in the 30th anniversary poster, so it's kind of weird that she doesn't get named either, considering she's like a big character as well. But the fact that these three are mentioned specifically by name, like, it makes me wonder, like, are these characters gonna show up in RE9? Maybe cameos, perhaps. Maybe small mentions, perhaps. I'm assuming if Leon is in this game, right? Like, Claire is gonna get at least some sort of mention, perhaps, when it comes to Raccoon City. Maybe Jill. I'm still kind of hoping that Jill is gonna be a surprise character in this game. Even a cameo, like at the end, I could respect. I could take that, and it sets up maybe a DLC with her. Like, that's kind of what I'm hoping for. But yeah, moving on. Back to the crazy board. So this is a detail that I wanted to mention. So as you can see in the center, we got the founders. We got Oswald E. Spencer, but then we also have James Marcus and Edward Ashford, and their character pictures are in silhouette. Okay, there's no images for them. Now obviously this image of Spencer is like an RE engine render. This was used in the Resistance multiplayer for Resident Evil 3, I believe. But it's very strange that we got James Marcus and Edward in silhouette, despite the fact that we do have images of these characters that they could have used. I mean, we got these images from like the previous games, like this is from RE5, that's being used. So why not an image of these characters from like RE0 called Veronica? Why? Why the silhouette? Why the silhouette, people? Because they're gonna get remakes. That's why. This is, I think, the very first Easter egg / hint of Capcom straight up giving us this little vibe, this little hint that, yo guys, are you paying attention to the silhouettes here? Why the silhouette? Because they're gonna get remakes. We're gonna see James Marcus in the RE engine. We're gonna see Edward Ashford in the RE engine. Probably a portrait of it. Maybe even a flashback. Maybe even a video, perhaps. That would be kind of cool. But yeah, this is like a clear literal hint, obviously, of what's to come. Like, this is Capcom straight up throwing things at the board, letting the fans see and letting them try and guess if they can predict what's to come. And yeah, I think this is a straight up like confirmation to the leaks anyway that yes, we are getting in fact a remake of RE0 and Code Veronica. They're happening. That for me confirms it. It's a small hint from Capcom themselves giving us a hint. So yeah, it's happening. So yeah, I thought that's kind of cool to point out. But yeah, moving on. So we got this one of these DLC costumes that we're gonna get, and it's called Apocalypse. And I wanted to point this out because it was very strange for me the way they decided to showcase this specific costume and the way she's posed. Because look at the way Grace is posing, right? Forget the outfit that she's wearing. That's obviously like a hint at Alice, I guess. But look at the pose. Does it not look familiar to a certain someone? Have you thought of who it is? I don't know about you. Maybe, I don't know if this is an Easter egg. It probably is an Easter egg. It's probably, again, because this is a celebration of 30 years of Resident Evil. So you can imagine that Capcom's trying to throw all kinds of things in here to sort of go, oh, look at this. We're celebrating all of this. But it is kind of weird that Grace is giving us sort of a similar pose to Ark Thompson from Survivor. Now, is this game still canon? I'm going to say maybe not, especially because of the fact that we don't ever know what happened to that character and what happened to the end of Survivor. And it's never really, besides RE0's like intro narration, it's never really brought up ever again in any of the other games. So Survivor is one of those games you could technically list as like non-canon, or at least deem it not important, especially when you consider the fact that Resident Evil 3 Remake had Jill go into that new Les lab and find all those tyrants there, and her pretty much saying, "Oh, this is where they made the tyrants." Though when we know in the original canon that the tyrants came from Shi'ar Island, so but now I guess that sort of changed. But one of the things I wanted to point out is this Capcom trying to create a connection between Grace and Ark? And if so, why is that? Well, one of my previous theories in another video was that Grace is potentially a secret BOW that was rescued by Alyssa, and that she's not actually Alyssa's daughter. But what if Grace is Alyssa's daughter, and she obviously had a dad? Who would her dad be, right? Is it possible that this is just a hint from Capcom that her dad may be Ark? Could it be Ark Thompson? Was her father Ark Thompson, perhaps? Did Alyssa meet Ark Thompson at some point and they got together and had a fling? Had a relationship, perhaps? Is this a hint? Maybe? Like, Because it's kind of strange. They go through all of this promotion, right? Like revealing to us that you know, Grace's mother is Alyssa, this a legacy character, but then they don't go into detail of who her dad is. Maybe she doesn't have a dad. Maybe her dad died when she was young. Maybe he left her and the mother like years ago, or maybe that's part of the story and we're gonna find that out. Or maybe it is Ark. Maybe it is Ark Thompson. I don't know. Food for thought. Just I'm throwing things in to see what sticks. Okay, like I'm just saying. Or it is just as simply an Easter egg. Like let's have her pose as Ark Thompson and get the fans talking, because why the hell not? And any kind of like thing is gonna get fans rattled and to talk about. So you know, like the smallest things like that is just gonna like cause this sort of controversy of debate. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. It's just food for thought, you know. But moving on. We got our first look at a zombie, like officially, properly at a zombie. And we've seen them before, but this is like our first real look at one. And the combat, or not even that, like it's like 2 seconds long and that's it. So they're teasing us at this point. They're really teasing us. I do think that when we do get into January, we're gonna get like a deep dive into this game's combat system and that. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, you can look at the details here, and it does look like the zombie, the dude here, has like sort of the same, like, what is it, crusted sort of look like that the hooded man has and other characters have. So I guess they're all infected with some sort of similar virus, I guess. But yeah, looking forward to seeing where this goes. And then moving on, we got this shot in the trailer that we got. We got like a new, again, not really a new trailer, but this is one of the new shots we got with our villain, who I do say is going to be like our Buffalo Bill in the game. But pay attention to the background. There's very specific things in the background that hint at previous Resident Evil titles. So we got this thing here, right? And this is straight up this. So the device there, like that's a straight up callback to the crest puzzles from the original Resident Evil 1. So we got a connection to the Spencer mansion, to Spencer himself here with this. Like, what is the deal with that? Like, again, is that just an Easter egg? Or is that being put in there for by Capcom to try and for fans to spot this and go, hey, do you see that? Yeah, there's a connection there. Like, it's not just an Easter egg. This is a hint at something. Is this a hint that this dude is Spencer, perhaps? That's not the only thing, though, that I noticed here. Like, we got this. We got the crest puzzle, but if... I could be wrong here, but I'm noticing this thing on top of it. Right? This thing here. And it looks, it's very different, of course, but it looks very similar to, well, this. It looks similar to the RE8 cover, like to the, it looks similar to the symbol, to the feeder symbol of RE8 Village, of the cult of Mother Miranda, if you will. Like, again, very different, but like somewhat similar, you know? And we already know from RE8 that Spencer and Mother Miranda had a connection together. Again, connections. Like, again, during this video, we get this whole revelation about the connections, this mention of the connections from RE7 and RE8. So clearly, this recap wanted fans to know about the connections. And they even say during the recap that this is an organization that we don't really know anything much about. So the fact that they recap that they pointed that out, is a big hint, like, from Capcom themselves to the fans that, hey, remember this group from RE7 and 8? Yeah, remember them, because it's very likely they're going to be playing a big role in RE9 going forward. So the big question then comes down to, is this Spencer? Or is this someone that's connected to Spencer and Mother Miranda? And if it is the connections coming back, the only character that I could realistically think of that it could be is, well, Brandon Bailey. But then we see this dude's got like this chest wound here. And the grey hair and everything. And the coat, I mean, the coat is very similar to Wesker's coat from RE5. Like, again, is this just an Easter egg? Or is this the same bloody coat? Because think about it, when you played the original RE5 and Wesker gets shot out of the plane, right? The next time he appears, he doesn't have his coat on. He's taken it off. Like, did it burn during his fall, or did he actually take it off before beginning the procedure to merge with Ouroboros? In which case, is this actually Wesker's coat from the volcano? Like, did whoever this group is, did they go there and they tried to maybe recover what they could, and they recovered Wesker's coat, and this dude's now wearing it as like a, I don't know, like a trophy or something, or a remembrance perhaps? And if he is, like, is it because it's Spencer? Like, again, you've got the mark there with the chest, but then that could just be a surgical thing. Like this, like I keep saying, this guy could be someone that's surgically operating on themselves to prolong their life maybe, but then maybe it is Spencer. Like, maybe this dude is Spencer, but then who's run? If that's Spencer, then what's going on with the plot then? Like, is he running the connections now? Or is this a different group and the connections are like a separate party that's gonna get involved? Because remember what I said as well, like how the original Resident Evil, like 4, at least one of the plot lines for the original Resident Evil 4 was meant to be Leon going after Spencer, and then there was like these different factions. You had like the Umbrella faction with Spencer, you had Wesker's faction, you had Leon's faction, and they all sort of like fought, and then Leon was caught in the middle of that. Is something similar going to happen here, perhaps, where it's like different functions, like factions going at it, and this is the result, perhaps? I don't know. Again, something to think about. But this dude does look like he's half dead, like. But the voice, that's the thing. If this is the dude in the trailer speaking, right, the voice doesn't match the voice we have for Spencer. Now, obviously, they could have gotten a new voice actor. That is a thing. But the way this guy looks, right, and like, it doesn't feel like that's the kind of voice you would get from this kind of character. Which makes me wonder whether the voice that we hear in the trailer is from a different character, and the guy that we keep seeing here is actually someone else. Or if it is indeed the voice coming from this dude, it's very just weird. Like, I guess like, you know, when it comes to voice acting to Resident Evil, and especially these recent remakes, it's been good. I've liked it, but I guess a lot of people would probably say some of the voices don't match the character models. Do you know what I mean? So, I don't know. Maybe it's just one of those cases, but we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to definitely wait and see. But yeah, this is just my thoughts on all of this, and yeah, tell me guys what you think. And yeah, I guess we just have to wait now at this point. But yeah, that's really it. Not really much else to discuss. We know there's an RE showcase in early next year, which I'm assuming is going to be in January. I do think we're still going to get like a proper trailer at the Game Awards, but yeah, I don't think we're going to get anything this month. Unless we get another Nintendo showcase randomly or something, at which case maybe we get something there. But yeah, I think we literally have to wait another month until we get something, and then we literally have to wait until, because I'm assuming they'll announce the RE showcase properly at the Game Awards. Like, we'll get the Game Awards, we'll get a new trailer, and then that's when we'll get the date, and they'll reveal, hey, the showcase is going to be at this date, so on and so forth. And then we'll just, I'm hoping it'll be in January, and then we get it in January, we get a big deep you know, deep dive into RE9, and then that'll be that. But yeah, very curious how all of this is going to come together and where all of this is going, because yeah, I just want to know about this game now. It's the marketing for this game has been insane, in that like it's very surprising that Capcom has held so much back. Like it's really like unprecedented. I don't feel like they've ever done this with other games. Like usually around this time we got previews of something or the first segment and a bit more about, you know, detail when it comes to combat and that, but so far with this, nothing really. Like just the same kind of stuff over and over and over again. Maybe they've done this in the past and I've never really paid attention, but like for me so far the marketing just feels very different when you compare it to how they did RE7, 8, 2 and 4. So yeah, this is like, it feels like they're very confident with this game, but the fact that they can hold so much back and not reveal anything until like a specific moment, at which point I guess the craze is going to get crazy and everyone's going to be like, oh my god, this actually looks amazing, let me go and pre-order this right away. So what is it that they're holding back? That makes me really wonder, like, how big actually is this game? Like, you know. But yeah guys, that's my thought on this. I hope you liked it. As always, remember to like and subscribe please, and yeah, I shall see you when I shall see you. Take care and bye.